Hi, I'm Miss Cherish. I'm the Red Room's butterfly teacher. I'm really excited to have your kids this year and to teach them. We have split the Red Room up, into two groups. One is the caterpillars, and those are the brand new 2-year-olds up to about 2.5, 2 3/4. And then we have the older 2s and young 3s, which are the butterflies, and that's the group I'll be teaching. Our curriculum that we use is Handwriting Without Tears. And I'm just going to show you a page in the booklet the workbook to represent it. This is the letter T. So what we would do is we start with having them trace the lines with their finger, and then we talk about what a letter T is comprised of: a big line down and a little line across. So we use those words, big line and little line. And then they can trace the letter T's down at the bottom all the way across, and then I will let them color in the pictures that are on the page. Before we get to the workbook part, we will go over we have these wood sticks that are representative of what's on the page. So we have the big line and then the little line across. The Handwriting Without Tears curriculum progresses from straight line letters into curved letters and then letters with diagonal lines, and so that's the progression that we'll be using. We also, to go along with that, we have the Map Man, which has a rectangular body, but I will also substitute in whatever our shape of the month is for his body, just to reinforce that concept with them. And then we will have the big curves for his head. There are also little curves, and so those also go along with the letters when we build the letters. And we just build his body, and then we will progress into them drawing a stick figure body of a person and knowing where the body parts go when they're drawing it. I also have some activities that I've made myself. One is teaching them how to spell their names. And so on this page you can see their name is across the top. There will be a dot under each letter so that we can point to each one as we go across, and then they can use the letter magnets to build their name and then progress into tracing all of the letters of their name as the year goes on. To also reinforce the letters, we have these letter buckets that have different objects in them that start with that letter, and then I will also teach them a song for each letter that teaches the sound. And it's just a really simple little phrase. We also have these flashcards. These have a texture on the purple so we can work on tracing. And we also use an app on the iPad where they will trace the letter 3 times on the app, sorry. It gives them before we go to the workbook. So it's a larger and it's easier for them to manage. Sorry. And then I also just on my own, I will do things like build a letter T with blocks, or as you can see on the board with the magnet blocks, I can build the letters or the numbers. And then during our whole group time, I would have them come up and trace them with their finger. So for our whole group time, we will usually go over the calendar every day. We practice counting by counting up to today's date. And so that to reinforce the one-to-one correspondence. We have the shape of the month will be on the whole group board, as well as something representative of the color of the month. I also have flashcards. They'll have the number on one side, and then they have the spaces to match. And so what I will usually do to reinforce it is have them put one item on each square and then count how many items. I like to go to Target, to the dollar spot, and find little mini erasers that I use as counters. We have shapes, can either be a matching game or a memory game, just depending on how many kids we have. I do things like I have my number wands, and so I will have them come up and pick a number, and then we will do something like clap 10 times or tap your nose 10 times or something like that. Again, just to reinforce counting and one-to-one correspondence. And then we also will have times of using Play-Doh. We have these cool letter stamps. We also have numbers, so they can stamp in the Play-Doh with them. I don't know if you can see this, but we have that. And then when you, the beginning of each month, we will have our monthly Red Room news schedule that you'll get in your cubbies. And I usually will put whatever books that we're using for the month on there. And sometimes I feel like it's beneficial for me as a parent. I liked being able to have the same books at home, so it was something familiar for them. And then I have my books in a separate cubby that I change out every month. And sometimes with the books I will create manipulatives to use while I'm reading. So for instance, this is it's Pumpkin Day Mouse, and there's pumpkins with different facial expressions, and so I've created copies of those on here, and I might pass them out, and I might say who has the silly face or who has the happy face, that kind of thing. I use a lot of books that reinforce sequencing, and I will try to have either felt pieces or manipulatives for the magnet board that we can use as we reinforce the sequence of the story. Now, twice a year, we will do an assessment. So we start off, we have the object cards. We have these on large flashcards, and we will also review those during whole group times. So we have the object cards, so naming the object, and then we also have what color is this object. And so they do that. They can trace the lines. We have the straight lines down and across, so we have a circle. And then we also move into combining them, making a square, drawing a triangle. We have the letters. So they just need to tell me the letters, even though we're learning the sounds. We're focused mainly on the names of the letters. The parts of the body. Let's see here. And then we have shapes and numbers. We learn the numbers up to 10. Number recognition, only up to 10, and then we count as far as we can go. And as far as the letters go, it's the letter recognition, and then we have them say the alphabet as far as they can. And by the end of the year, we hope that everyone will be able to say their alphabet all the way through without singing. I think that's, oh, sorry. And we also have, the last thing we started using at the end of last year were these scholastic things. They come with large posters, and so there are 2 a month and a different theme for each one. And so I'm using these to sort of guide my themes for the month, in case you're wondering how I come up with them. And so like this one already was sent home. It was on what does a fireman wear, what does a firefighter do, and then a little bit on fire safety. The next one for October is pumpkins, and so it just kind of goes with a seasonal theme, it seems like, and then another general interest theme. And so that's how we're sort of framing our plans for the month around these topics. And I hope that I've answered all your questions. I'm really excited for this year. It's a new kind of year, but it's exciting. And if you have any questions, just feel free to message me on the Brightwheel app. And I'm just looking forward to a great year. Thanks. Bye-bye.